In this example, what I'd like to do is generate a lot closure report for lot 53. I've already labeled the lot boundaries using our MS Annotate labels. And to generate the lot closure report, we need to go into the MS Tools ribbon, and under the subdivision group, in the pull down, you'll find the lot closure program. So if you click on this to bring up the command, and I'll just move this off to the side. Here it prompts us to give our lot a name, so I'm just going to give it lot 53. You also have the option to store points in the database. So as you are creating your lot, if you don't already have points coordinated in your drawing, you can store points in the database if you check this off, and you can also give it a starting point of whichever you choose. Since my points are already coordinated in my project, I'm just going to leave this unchecked. Next, it asks for a starting location. So if you already know the northing and easting, you can manually input them into the fields here, or you can pick on the drawing to get the location, which is what I'm about to do. So if I go click, and just snap to where I want to start from, which is down below here, it'll automatically update the northing and easting of the position that I just picked on from the drawing. You also have the option to draw lines and curves. So you can also store points in your database, but you can also draw lines and curves as you are creating the lot to generate the diagram. But since mine is already created, I can leave that unchecked, and I'll just hit OK to move on to the next step. Here's where we start creating our lot. And you can see in the drawing here where the arrow is, this is our starting point, and it's asking us from the starting point, is it going to be a line or a curved segment? So it's going to be a line in this example, and next it asks us to pick our azimuth. So if I hit pick, and I'm just going to zoom out a bit, and if I click on my azimuth label, you'll see that it automatically updates the azimuth after I pick the label. And I'm just going to zoom out here, and if I hit pick and then pick on the distance label, you'll see that once I hit the distance, it should give us a preview, but since the distance is so long, sometimes it's hard to see, and I recommend using this swap button here. So you can swap the direction to make sure that the azimuth direction is correct. So once you hit swap, you can see that it generates a purple circle for a preview of where the next point is going to be stored, or where you like your lot point to be. Since that purple circle lines up where our next lot corner is, you can just hit append to move to that point. And you can see that once you hit append, it automatically updates the position to where we are. That is because we have the dynamic pan setting checked off. So when you have this setting checked on, it'll automatically update itself, so the whole drawing is always seen. So from this starting point, we can move on, and we can use our pick both option here. So if you use the pick both option, all you have to do is window in the bearing and distance labels, and you hit enter, and you'll see that both fields automatically get updated. So this is a nice one-step procedure instead of manually picking. So just going to go pick both once more. Oh, my mistake. I actually forgot to append. So that's okay. And so if we just go pick both once more, and just to make sure that those are still correct, I'm just going to redo that and hit enter. And you can see the preview is in the correct location. So if we hit append, that's okay. And now you can see that it updates to the new location of where we're at. So if we go pick both, enter, the preview looks okay. We can hit append. And here, now we are no longer going to be working with lines here. So we got to choose the curve option. And we're going to need to use the azimuth to radial point since we have the azimuth to the radius. And I'm just going to pick on the azimuth there. And with the curve information, you will have to manually input that information. So if we check on radius, and the radius is 105, so we have to manually type this. And the arc is 16.9. And since I'm unsure of where the preview is, I'm just going to use the swap button. And you can see the preview, and that is definitely wrong. And it might be related to because it's clockwise. So if we change to counterclockwise, and we can see the preview is also in the wrong direction. So if we hit swap now, so it was counterclockwise and it did need to swap the direction since we see the preview is in the correct location now. So we can hit append, and we can move on to the next point. And I just forgot that I made a mistake in that last step. So if I go previous, you can hit edit, and now I can edit my previous input here. And what I forgot was I forgot to check off the frontage, since this is the front of the lot and I'd like this to be shown in the report. So now I can hit accept for the new changes, and we can go next, and now we're back to where we were before. And since I don't have any information here, it tells us to go see detail B. So if I just move over to detail B here, I can use my pick both option in the detail, and I'll just pick that, and I'll just move back over to our lot here. And once I hit enter off the detail, it also gives us the preview. So if we hit swap, this will give us the right location. We can hit append, and we'll need to go back to the preview again, or the detail, sorry. And we'll use our pick both, and we'll choose the remaining. And I've hit enter and swap. We can see that's in the right location to close, and we can hit append. And now we have just closed off to our starting point, and we can hit finish since we are done creating the lot. And here it generates the lot report here for you to look at. And what I recommend doing is going to the page setup and changing the orientation to landscape, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. I'm just going to exit out. And that is how you generate a lot report in MicroSurvey CAD. Thanks for taking interest in this video.